Hello everyone and welcome back to Hachinara Culture Japan. I'm Hachi coming to you from Japan. Today I'd like to talk about movie that was released in Japan on December 16, 2000, Battle Royale. At some point, this game anime, movies and dramas became really popular. But personally, I think Battle Royale is one of the origins of this game genre. Have you ever seen it? Let me briefly explain the story. In a collapsing society, a law called the BR Act is created to restore adult authority through fear and control. It basically stands for the Millennium Educational Reform Act. From 43,000 ninth grade classes across Japan, one class is chosen at random. Then the students are forced to kill each other until only one person is left. The director was Kinji Fukasaku. The main star was comedian Takeshi Kitano. Of course, he is also famous as a film director. The movie was based on a novel published in 1999. When this movie was released in Japan, the idea of junior high school students being forced to kill each other was so shocking that it caused a huge controversy. People were especially worried about its influence on young people, its violent scenes, and its possible impact on school education. On top of that, the governor of Tokyo at the time was also very critical of the movie. From there, members of the Diet and government officials also began criticizing the film. But ironically, all of that intense criticism became huge publicity for the movie. Many people apparently started thinking, if it's really that controversial, I want to see it. In today's words, it was almost like viral controversy marketing. Of course, this selected movie had existed in Japan before, but Battle Royale was probably one of the first R-15 movies that became this famous and this controversial nationwide. I rewatched it recently for the first time in a long time, and honestly, I thought it was an amazing film. The image of children being thrown around by rules that adults created for them is painful in any era. I'm not sure I can explain it perfectly, and I don't want to spoil too much, so I won't go too deep into the story, but I do think it's a movie that makes you feel something. I remember reading in an interview a long time ago that director Kinji Fukasaku on wartime experience was one of the reasons he wanted to adapt the novel into a film. A reasonable law and a powerful self. This movie was released in 2000, but even today, I hope you can feel something from it. Before I wrap things up, let me share a few personal memories and interesting little facts about this movie. First, this is just my personal memory from back then, but the school uniform in this movie became a bit of a topic among people around me. Some people even made their own versions of the uniforms. Japanese school uniforms are already a big part of Japanese pop culture. But in Battle Royale, the uniforms make the story feel even more painful. The students look like ordinary junior high school students, but they are suddenly thrown into this insane situation. That contrast is one of the reasons the movie feels so shocking. Also, I actually watched this movie in the theater on the day it was released, and after the movie ended, I remember being so shocked that I just sat there in silence for a while. The ending song was also really cool. It's called Shizuka na Hibi no Kaidan wo by Dragon Ash. Please check it out if you are interested. After the movie, I went to yakiniku restaurant with the person I watched it with, and we talked about the movie for about 2 hours. But even after that, I still couldn't really process the movie inside of my own head. So I went to see it again the next week. That's how strong the impact was for me. And here's another interesting thing. Overseas, Quentin Tarantino has also praised Battle Royale very highly. In Japan, it was criticized as a dangerous and controversial movie, but among many film fans overseas, it became a cult classic. I think that contrast is really interesting. And one more little fact. When you watch the movie, the Iceland feels like some faraway, isolated place. But one of the filming locations is known as Hachijō-kojima, an island that is actually part of Tokyo. When people hear Tokyo, they may imagine Shinjuku, Shibuya, trains, crowds, and skyscrapers. But Tokyo also has islands like this. That's another interesting part of Japanese geography and culture. So Battle Royale is not just a violent movie. It is a movie about fear, survival, young people, adults, society, and unreasonable rules. It was criticized strongly in Japan. It became a cult classic overseas, and even more than 20 years later, it still leaves a strong impression. That is Battle Royale. If you watch it, don't just look at the violence. Try to look at the fear, the anger, the sadness, and the message behind it. And if you've already seen Battle Royale, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Were you shocked? Did you think it was just too violent? Or did you feel something deeper behind the story? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And with that, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching Hachinara Culture Japan. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the movie, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Hach, coming to you from Japan. See you in the next episode. またね。